Okay, so crazy thing here. You were the first person that ever did a tip anything. You were the first person that I ever let talk to my team.
Oh my gosh.
Ever
Wow.
in life. No, I mean for real, like ever. It was a phone call. You remember back when we used to do phone
Oh
calls?
my, holy cow. That was so long ago.
It was forever ago. It had to be like 2015. It's crazy. But we loved you. Still love you. We got some good questions tonight. I really appreciate you taking away your time because I know you are busy. Okay, honey? Listen, tell Will, shout out to him tonight. We appreciate him.
Let's do the thing. Hey, you got me for an hour. I don't have nothing for an hour.
I'm excited. Okay, so look, the comments are going crazy. Love
Hi, guys.
Okay.
Hi.
Love Jay Hooper, and now it's finally going. They probably was just waiting to see who it was, and now it's probably gonna max out at 100 in like 5 seconds. Oh my God, Jay's on our call. Okay. Anyways, so oh my gosh, I get Jay Hooper, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right, got some questions for you tonight, my friend. So number one, I don't want to just hear like your it work story. I want my squad to hear about who Jade was 6 months to a year before it works.
Okay. Well, hi guys, I'm Jade, if you don't know me. I actually like to say that, like, I feel like our journey starts even before a year, right? Like we grow up being like formed and molded to be like a certain way. And that's what really shaped me to be the person that I was 6 months before I started the business. My mom was a single mom and she had me at 18 and like the world was against her. You know, it's not easy being a single mom. I haven't seen my dad since I was 7 and he was a terrible person. And so I watched my mom be young. I watched her be dumb. I watched her make a lot of mistakes, but then there was also some stuff that like she just couldn't help. And so when I was growing up, it was, if my grandparents weren't helping us pay bills and like buy my clothes and stuff like that, I mean, we just went without. When I was in high school, we actually moved away from my grandparents and I was living with my mom. We didn't have a home phone. We didn't have TV. We didn't have an internet. Like I wasn't able to do my like school stuff. So instead of typing things, I just had to handwrite it really, really neat and hope that it passed. It was hard. You know, I had hand-me-down clothes from my friends. I skipped lunches at school. Just, you do what you got to do. And that's how I was raised. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate to that a lot. That's just what we do, right? And so I carried that with me for a very, very long time of this, I got to do what I got to do attitude. I moved out when I was 18. I met this extremely handsome man that I ended up marrying when I was 18 years old. We moved out after knowing each other for 3 weeks. I went to cosmetology school and I just wanted to own my time. I wanted to just not have to rely on anybody else. And I didn't want no one to rely on me, right? Because then we have no conflict. Then I'm in control of what's going on. I just wanted to be in control. And that was like what I wanted to do. And when I actually found out I was pregnant, Will and I got married and we did what married people do. Had a honeymoon-ish thing, sort of, not really. And I got pregnant and it was crazy because I never imagined being married. I never imagined having kids. I did not imagine that part of my life ever. And so when it happened, I was like, I mean, whatever, like I'm here. I'm at the salon. I'm a manager now. I'm doing all the things. I feel like my life is starting to like look up. I'm finally living paycheck to paycheck. And as soon as I got pregnant, it felt like my life was falling apart. I didn't understand at all. Like God was like, I got a plan for you. I had no idea. It just felt like everything was falling apart. I was like, here I am, a mom now. I'm pregnant. Will loses his job. We lose our insurance. I start bleeding. Now I'm going to, the invasive whatever 4D ultrasounds every 2 weeks. And they're prepping me to have a baby at 24 weeks pregnant. Just all this crazy stuff. We had to move twice before I even had Levi. I mean, it was just insane. And I was like, this is what being a mom's like? This is terrible. Like, this is horrible. But I did not know what it was going to feel like when I pushed that baby out and they put this scrawny little 5-pound baby on me. And I was like, oh my God, this is intense. Like, it was so intense. like I saw my life flash before my eyes, and in that moment it changed me. I did not give two craps about anything that I had ever wanted to do, any dream that I have ever had. I didn't even care about Will. I was like, don't care. It's like me and this baby, holy cow, they're sending me home with this like live human being, and I've got to take care of him. And my brain like automatically was like triggered to like this just like survival mode of like, oh my gosh, it was just so intense. And you guys, we moved the month before I had him. We were living in this apartment that we literally got our water bill, and our water bill was so expensive. We had to move because of our water bill. We couldn't afford our bills. I was like, we got to move, we got to go. And so we actually ended up moving. Levi was just 4 months old, right? August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 4 months old. We moved the week of Christmas. We had no gifts. This was my lowest time. We had no gifts. We had nothing. And I thought to myself, you know, this whole time, my whole life, I'm sitting here looking at my mom. I mean, that woman was like the queen of layaway at Kmart for 9 months out of the year just to be able to afford Christmas, right? Like Kmart. Yes, Kmart layaway, okay? And here, even though we struggled so bad, and I was like hating on my mom so bad and like pointing out her mistakes, at least that woman still had a Christmas for me. And here I am, and I had nothing. And it was the lowest low. I mean, it was terrible. And so it was the first time in my life that I felt sorry for myself. The first time that I was on Facebook, you know, watching all of my other friends that I went to like cosmetology school with, and their, you know, their first birthday parties that they were throwing for their kids. And they had 3-tiered fondant cakes. I didn't even have that for my wedding. My God, we got married at the courthouse. And I just saw all this stuff, and I was just hating on what everybody else had, wondering what the heck that I did wrong. And so it was Levi's first birthday, and it goes by so fast, doesn't it? Like our kids grow, it just time goes by so fast. It's insane. It just slips through your fingers, truly. And that day, Will and I fought about what we were going to feed people. We fought about what we were going to give people to drink, like what we're going to give them to drink. I said, we're going to give them water. He's like, what are we giving people to drink? I'm like, literally water, because it's free. We don't have money. And he went and put pop and beer on a credit card. And we just, like, I didn't give my child any gifts. We didn't have money. And it was that night I put him to bed, and I did what creepy people do, creepy moms, what we do. And I like watched my child sleep and just crying, like, how is he one? Does he have it so bad? He's one. This is not what I thought my life was going to be like. I thought I was like doing all the right things, and I don't even care about my career. And my husband doesn't have like a job. Like he's just working 3 side jobs, and he hates being home because it's this reminder that he's not enough. And like, it was the first time that I ever prayed in my life. I got down on my knees and I was like, hello, my name's Jade. I don't know, like, if this is real. I don't know what's happening, but like, I'm so desperate. I cannot do this. And I think that's when God knows that. I think it's where he wants us to be, right? Like he wants us to be like, I got nothing. Like, just, I need you. You know what I mean? Move mountains for me, because I can't do this. I have chills just thinking about it. And so I said, I don't know what I have to do, but like, please change this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And so it was the next day, that weird little voice in your head that you got said like, work from home. And I was like, God, like, my mom sold Mary Kay. That didn't work out. Okay. Like, that's not the thing, but that's just the vibe I got. And so I did all the research, 3 weeks. I looked through every single company, pots, pans, candles, beef jerky, clothes, purses, whatever, all these things. Swear to God, at that point, you could sell beef jerky. I don't know if you can now. That was 2013. And then all of a sudden, I was in this mom group, 360 comments of all these women being the peanut gallery, complaining about how they don't have money, all the little Pinterest mom things that they're doing to save money. I was talking about my stupid Pinterest things that I was doing to save money. And this girl named Kristen messaged me, and she said, I saw your comment on this post, and I really think that you'd be good at this. You guys, she told me we sold wraps on Groupon. Okay, we didn't. Actually, it was Living Social, but same thing. We do not sell wraps on Groupon, but it just goes to show that you truly cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And you guys, she quit 2 weeks later. She did. And actually her enroller, I think I was an ambassador, and her enroller, her name I believe was Emily. I don't think she quit, and I had messaged her and I said, hey, I don't know if you like quit or anything, but like if you just ran an auto ship, you would probably make some good money. And I just let her know, and I didn't hear anything ever again. And you guys, she sent me a freaking Christmas card. Like it was like 6 months later, and she was like, do you know that we were struggling so bad, and because you told me to turn an auto ship on, we were making like $600 a month just from like whatever I was making from like your downline. Like that blessed me so much. And I mean, it didn't bother me any, like it wasn't taking money away from me. It was just really, really powerful and crazy. And so, I mean, really like it, you guys, like it just came from like a prayer and just taking that like inspired action to just do something. I mean, I was looking on YouTube for like, this has got to be a scam. I mean, right? Like what we all do, stupid stuff, being on YouTube, being the little investigative, you know, as if I'm like it's CSI or something, looking for reasons to not do this. And I saw Denise Walsh, and she's like, my name's Denise Walsh, and I'm a millionaire mom, and and I'm like, okay, well, if this lady can make $1 million, then, you know, I can make 200 then maybe, you know? And here I am 7 years later.
Oh my God, I love it.
True story.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. Okay, so question, you jumped wide. I know your story. They might not know it. But you came in and you like ran right away. Kind of, right? But here's my question. When did your flip switch where you knew this was like a game changer for your life? Was it the Christmas story? And they might not know that. I do, because I'm totally a fan. And what did you do?
I mean, truly, you guys, like, I don't, like, from the get-go, I just treated this like this was life or death. I had left the salon, and it was like 2 weeks, and I just was like, I'm not going back. Like, I've got to be with this kid. And Will would be like, are you like, you know, like work, or like what the hell's happening? And I was like, just one moment, like just give me some time. I'm just nestling some stuff up inside of me here. And so this was life or death. This was either going to work or it was going to work. So I mean, like when I tell you, and I want this to empower you. I don't want this to intimidate you. And times are very different, you guys. Like when I got started 7 years ago, people weren't freaking building their business on social media. Like I just figured this crap out. Okay. Like I just figured it out and did whatever I could figure out. Okay. And so that's why I hate so much when people put social media into like rules and like a box of like do or don't. Cause like I did it when there were no rules. And so there are no rules. You can do it any way. But I mean, I came in and I worked 18 hours a day. Will would come home. At that point, he got a job at the railroad, and he would come home at 4:30 in the morning. And Levi was co-sleeping with me, and I'd be under the covers following and doing stuff on Instagram. And he'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working, leave me alone. Because like, I needed this. It wasn't like a want. I didn't want this. No, I needed this. I needed this so bad. I was just willing to just work as much as I could all the time, always. Now, yes, Ruby was like, holy crap. Like this is, it was the moment in time where like flashback to the year before when we moved, and it was the week of Christmas and we had nothing. And Christmas was a very special time for me. I mean, it hit me so hard. It was my lowest low when we had nothing for this kid. And so fast forward to, it was December, the month I went Ruby, and Will came home, and we lived in this like duplex thing, this old farmhouse attached to these like old people's things. And so like to pay rent, Will always paid rent. And so I was like, I'm going to surprise him, and I'm going to pay rent early. And all these things. So he came home, and there was a tree. We had a tree, and there were presents under the tree. And he's like, where did those presents come from? I mean, literally like panic. He was being psycho crazy. Where did those presents come from? You took our rent money? How are we going to pay for rent? What are we going to do now? We're going to be homeless? Like literally just chewing me out. And I was like, I already paid rent. He's like, what do you mean you already paid rent? You don't pay the rent. I'm like, I already paid the rent. Okay, well, where did the money come from for these toys and stuff? Certainly, like now, you put us in debt or all this stuff. And I said, I also paid for that. And he was just shocked. Like, wait a minute, like what? Because this whole time for 4 months of my business, he was just pointing out how much I was on my phone, and like as if it bothered him. men are on the phone all the time. You need to find your husband. He's pooping on the toilet on his phone for 45 minutes. Let's be real. Okay. That cannot be, please. Okay. Thank you. Angie's like, exactly. Like, how many times you got to poop? Okay. You're just watching stupid videos. You hear Steve Harvey from the bathroom. Like, what is happening right now? That's my life. Anyways. Okay. He's got some good stuff, but like, for real, how many of these videos do you need to watch? And so I was doing dishes and I just like spoke my piece and just went, you know, whatever. I didn't have anything to prove. And he came over to me and he thanked me. That was the first time that he thanked me, because it made an impact when a year before then, my life was so different, you know? And so that was the moment. I mean, I made, I don't know, like, I mean, I think I made it like over $500 that month. My next month I made $900. And I mean, $200 was my goal. And like $500 was my holy cow. Like, if I truly can make $500, like I can like coupon or, you know, do my laundry in the bathtub and like, I will scrape by and like make it to where I am able to stay home with Levi. And so that was that moment that not only was I able to scrape by, but like I was able to buy jeans, like my first pair of brand new jeans, like in my whole life, because of being, you know, that was a big deal. That was such a big deal. So it was Ruby, you know, but there's a lot of people that will go Ruby and then I don't think that they feel like they've made it. It's just that they're like further than they truly ever thought they could be. And then they're just like, God, like what's required of me? We get in our heads, what's required of me to get to the next level? People do that at Diamond. Okay, so now I'm this. How the heck am I supposed to get to the next level? And just the joke is, it's a joke almost. And the secret is just all the same things that you did to get to Ruby. You know, that's the joke, is that to get to Diamond, the same stuff I did to get to Ruby is the same stuff I did to get to Diamond, the same stuff I did to get to Ambassador. And then the other funny part was I went double Diamond in 60 days on my 2.0, and I was double Diamond for 5 years. I hold it up too, like as if I could say, oh, 2. No, it wasn't 2 years. It was 5 years. And the reason why I was double Diamond for 5 years is because I said, for 5 years, how am I supposed to do this again? How am I supposed to go Ambassador again? I have all these kids and all these things and all this stuff. And then the joke was we came back from Costa Rica and it just was the best moment ever when we did the Costa Rica recap Zoom. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube. It is like the best freaking, that video changed. I was narrating it, like interviewing people, but truly it was for me. Like it was just for me. You guys just got to watch because you can just see my like self-discovery. But the joke was, again, how am I going to do it again? Just the same freaking way I did it the first time. You know, what are you willing to do? That's the question.
Of that. And before we get into like talking about the abundance of your mindset, I want to, and this is just because I've been watching your journey for so long. How did you, from being someone with your background and where you came from, I just remember you being at, because I got chills when you just said that just a minute ago, but when, I remember you and Will were sitting in front of, I don't know if it was green carpet, it had to be green carpet. And you were so incognito when you first started coming around It Works people. It was like, I don't even want you to know who I am. Like, don't say hi to me. I've seen that Jade, and then I've seen the Jade, like, don't say hi to me. Like, get away from me. Like, oh my gosh, like it's too much. It's too much because I didn't do this for this recognition. I'm not here for that, you know? How did you get past that point in your business?
Well,
because I think at one point it was kind of like mentally weighing on you, right?
It was a lot. Yeah. I mean, if you guys will, so if you go to, I don't know if you guys know, I have a podcast, and the first podcast episode that I ever recorded was called Imposter Syndrome. And then the crazy thing was at conference, they're like, hey, can you guys talk about imposter syndrome? And I was like, did you know that I am an expert in this topic? It was crazy. Oh my gosh, we are always, and like it all, I can't even sit here and say, I actually had this talk with Melody McFarland one time. And because when we moved to Tennessee, you guys, and like, we have 10 acres. I mean, I literally live in heaven, and I couldn't even eat my first meal here. Like we were eating burgers, and I had to go in the bedroom and I cried because I was like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this. Like, it's hard when people who and then like the higher you go, it's like your circle kind of gets smaller, whatever. It's hard when like people that and that you care about and all this stuff are like still there, but you're like going that way. It's hard to wrap your brain around, like, why me? Why am I the one? Like, why am I, and I swear to you, like, I had no idea, like, when I was just making training videos for my team, I had no idea what was happening on the outside of that. So when I went to conference and Will and I are like sitting there and there's 60 people wanting to get pictures and like people crying, it was just so shocking. It was so shocking. And it was like, oh, like, and then again, it was, I don't deserve this. Like, I don't know. Well, and I don't mean like, and I'm not, now I take it, I can see it from like the outside in, and I take it so graciously and lovingly, and I just will hug everybody. And I'm just like so grateful for it. Even if like, I deserve it? Absolutely not. I mean, like, no one does. Who does deserve that, But like, I get it. And I'm just like, dang, like if someone gets to watch me and I get to enable them to think like, well, crap, if she can do this, then I can do this. Then like, that's, and that's kind of where I come from now. So I mean, it's just been so long. I mean, I think you and I have been doing this about the same amount of time. Like, we've just learned so much. So who I am today and the things that I even like bat my eyes at is so different than, what was going on at that point too, because I also felt like at that time that I had to prove my success by like things, like I had to look a certain way or be a certain way. It's just a part of the process. We start to think that like success is like represented by a car or like a thing that you have or a fancy person, all this stuff. And so we throw our money to like flash, but you just start to realize that's cool. It's good. It's good to marinate in your success and stuff like that, but that is not going to carry you forever. That true success is just like this constant question of, okay, but like God is so much bigger than where I'm at right now. So like, what else am I called to do? How much further am I called to go? Do you know what I'm saying? And so that's just like, that's why I'm just like, chill, like I just feel very much me now and cool about everything and kind of calm and like collected about it. It's been good.
That's good. And yes, it's a process. It definitely is. So, okay, let's talk about how did you put yourself in the right mindset for abundance? How did you do that?
Well, I will tell you what, it is way easier. What a gift. Being ignorant is such a gift, isn't it? Because you don't know. I mean, it really is. It really is. And sometimes it's not, but it really is. In the beginning of this business, ignorance is just bliss because I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know there were no rules. There were no rules. So like my first year in 2014, in January, I made $900. And I was a Ruby. And by November, I was a presidential diamond. You guys, like the next year I was top 10. The only time I've ever been in the top 100 was just being in the top 10. It was just insane. And I had no idea. And so like, I had nothing, like not comparing yourself to other people is the most precious gift that you can give yourself, because I can compare myself to anyone. There's not a single person who is like me. So if I compare myself to them, I'm always going to fall short because they're always going to have something I don't have if I'm looking for reasons why I can't do this, right? So in the beginning, I didn't go through like the doubts and like, I don't think I can do this and all this like negative stuff because I just needed it so bad and it truly was life or death. The weird doubt stuff and the lack of abundance came in the middle, after I had already accomplished all this stuff and I was saying, why me? But then I also had people of authority in my life when I decided to go to a next level say, hey, wait a minute. Like basically your journey thus far has been fine, but like, what are you going to do for me? Like I literally had people being like, you're going to give me money, like you're going to do things for me. And it just made me feel so funky and weird about like what having money meant, what my success meant. Like it made me second guess who I was. And so I spent a lot of time trying to prove to people my character, when I did it for like, so I tried to prove literally those 5 years that I was double diamond, it was this crazy, crazy thing and it was terrible. But I eventually learned that like, when people are not impressed with you, it has nothing to actually do with you. It actually has all to do with them. So if you spend all their time trying to impress someone else, like, you can just fast forward and just know now that they will never be impressed by you. There's nothing that you could do. There's no way that you could look, talk. You just can't. You can't save other people. You can just save yourself. And if people want to come along for it, they will. And if they don't, that's their choice. We all get 24 hours in a day. And so now you guys, I have just dove in so much to, again, like mindset and just understand. I don't know, like really I spent $2,000 on this course that I'm actually been listening to this whole entire month about abundance and your mentality and just understanding, like being able to identify your limiting beliefs. And that comes in rules. So like for me, a limiting belief is just when I say I can't, whatever. No, that's not true. That's just my limiting belief that I can't do that. Why do I think that? And trying to like identify what inside of me is making me feel like I can't accomplish something or that I can't do or be something, and digging into that so I can kind of get over that. So, I mean, to this day, you guys, like I went triple on my 2.0 and it makes me just want to absolutely vomit to the thought of going residential diamond. But I actually prayed this morning. And I was like, okay, God, like, I mean, you're obviously way bigger than any of this. This is like stupid stuff. So like, what is happening? Hold on. My thing I'm like, I thought I signed out, but it was just someone logging into my account. And so I was just like, we're going to do this and it's just going to come together and I'm going to give all that I've got because I mean, I think the hardest thing is when we feel like we don't have a lot. Do you guys feel like sometimes you're like, I have nothing. Like I truly don't, I don't have any skills. Like I'm not anybody. I don't feel like I'm showing up with a lot of stuff in my bag to like be able to do all this stuff and like make big things happen. But I've let that thought hold me back for so long, thinking that I only have a little bit and that little bit is not enough. But in December, I just decided that it just has to be enough. It just has to be enough. And so I've proven that to be true, that in January, February, March, April, May, June, all the way to now, that it has just been enough. Even if, and so it's just, you show up with whatever you've got. You believe that it just has to be enough. You trust yourself and you kind of trust your intuition. Like, your intuition's like the GPS of your soul. Like that's the way that we, in my head, that's the way I communicate with things. So, you have to go for it, because if you have this thought in your head that you've got to go diamond or that you've got to go ruby or that you've got to go triple or whatever it might be, it's because you're supposed to. You just have to walk. Yeah. You just have to show up. Yeah. You have to go for it and it will just be enough. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel, and I don't know what it means or what it looks like, but I just feel like I am here to just do so much to help another person to be able to do 10 times more than I'm even able to do. Does that make sense? And so like, what is the point of all of the things that I've been through in my whole life? What is the point of the last 5 years? What is the point of going through that if I'm not going to like do something with it? You know what I mean?
So good. It is so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have a lot of questions. What would you say, and I know you've seen this because there's no way you haven't, when you see someone self-sabotage, mm-hmm. So you see someone who hits a rank or you see somebody who's doing really well, and then all of a sudden something happens, just something. It could even be a big check, okay? Mm-hmm. Like it could be a big check and be like, okay, we need to go back subconsciously. I need to go down a few thousand because that 7,000 ain't me, What do you say to a person who's there where they're really self-sabotaging their business? So they hit a rank and then they went right back down or whatever. Or it's a new person who's killing it and then just one thing and then all of a sudden, this isn't for me,
Well, that's that imposter syndrome. So like, I mean, truly what you have to do is you have to, there is something inside of you. When you make a lot, again, like, so I was raised by my grandparents and they're in their, 70s. My grandpa's 80. So they were raised with so many limiting beliefs. People with, like I was raised, people with money just are like full of themselves. They're just selfish. And that's when I started to have money. I don't know another way to put it. That's how they made me feel. And so it made me question, right? Guilt. When I was double diamond, I mean, oh my God, I was double diamond. Will was double diamond. We were making 5-figure paychecks. We bought our first house. We paid off $30,000 in debt. I am not even exaggerating. I had vaulted ceilings, and everybody was sleeping, and I would just lay there on my couch and look at my vaulted ceilings, and I would cry, and I'd be like, I don't deserve it. It's so pretty. My mom has never owned a house her whole life. I just felt so bad. When you hit something that you're letting your past and someone else's garbage and limiting beliefs take your accomplishments away. And that is so stupid. You can't do that. I mean, imagine if your child went and ran a race, like a marathon, and they won. They worked hard for it. They pushed when everybody else gave up, right? Or like a triathlon, and then they won, and then they looked at you and they're like, Mom, I don't deserve that. You'd be like, child, like what? Like it would make no sense to you, right? So what you've got to do is, and it starts before you even hit it. So you've got to figure out, what do you want? Why do you want it? Okay. You could literally journal these things. What do you want? If you could have anything with no rules, 0 rules, or judgments. I think that's the biggest thing. If no one else was seeing what you wanted, not your grandma, not your mom and dad, not your sister, not any of these people who can't even keep a plant alive, these people who have the worst broke mindset. We don't care what they're doing with their stuff, right? This is your home. This is yours. If you had no judgments, what do you want? Then identify, why do you want it? Even if it's selfish. If you want a big house because you want to wake up every day and feel like you're living vacation because you can, then so be it. Because along the way, you are going to serve so many people. Okay. Like, this isn't about you. If you feel like you should do that, it's because there are other yous in the world that need to see you living that life and making it. Okay. So what do you want? Why do you want it? Then after you go through that, then what are those feelings that make you want to puke? What are those feelings, those thoughts and feelings that feel funky after you figure out those things? And you got to write them all out, everything. What if this doesn't work? What if this doesn't happen? What if people think, I feel like I'm better than everybody else? Like, what if? But then the next step is to figure out who in your life has made you feel that is true. And then you've got to forgive them. That's the shitty part. You got to forgive them. So when I witnessed my mom being done with money, I was like when my grandparents made me feel guilty for having a lot of money and not wanting to give it to them. This was it was crazy. I had to forgive them for making me feel guilty. I had to forgive my son for times when I just needed to work, and I was in this space where mom guilt was a thing, and I would feel not okay if I was working, not okay if I was with my family. I was never I never felt good. And I said, I forgive him for in those moments making me feel guilty. I forgave Will for times where I didn't feel right. I forgave myself. You know what I mean? You've got to forgive all these things. So if you forgive them for feeling some sort of way, then you've got to figure out, is there something that I can what can I do better? We talked about this, right? We're going to be talking about this at the summer camp. And you guys, yeah. But like I said, so if these are my thoughts and feelings, if Will's making me, if I feel bad because I can't be with my family, what can I do to make sure what can I do to identify that? Or to identify how I can fix this? So is it a date night? Is it making sure I'm it's just time with my family? You know what I mean? What can I do with my schedule to fix that? So that's not a problem anymore. You don't have to carry guilt. Freaking do something about it. My gosh, we're grown adults. Sweet goodness, right? Your husband's mad because you're on the phone all the time. I think the only time my husband complains about me doing something is if he wants time. You know what I mean? And that could be a movie, that could be the adult time. Doesn't matter what it is. So I pencil him in, okay? I pencil him in. He gets date night, right? Right? I pencil him in. I pencil my kids in every single night from 4 until they go to bed. It is family time. And I feel good. Everything's very healthy. I feel good. I work my business. And the only time I go to bed feeling guilty is if I'm not spending my time wisely. Period. If I'm not spending my time wisely, you know what I'm saying? What is happening? What happened?
So that was my lunchtime, like right before Zaire was.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I would tell my team, nope, lunch, I will be unavailable. Anyways, funny. So yes, pencil your spouse in, guys. Pencil in that spousal time. It's important. So we're going to get into the schedule, but I got one more question before you get into the schedule. What would you say to someone who's not seeing results? And if so, we have a system in place, clearly, because I mean that would be crazy not to have one in place.
Right.
So what would you say to someone who's not getting results? And I can't tell you if they're doing the system or not, but what would you say to someone who's not seeing results?
I mean, okay, the first thing is to not panic and not have a mental breakdown. I literally enrolled a girl tonight, and I went and picked my kids up from camp, and I came home, and she was like, clearly I just don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just not taking off the way that I thought I would. And I was like, you need to like calm down. Calm down. You guys started 1 hour ago, and you haven't even done anything to do it wrong yet. So can we calm down? I sent her a message. I don't even know if she answered. I was like, you need to just relax. We're going to relax right now. So you just got to relax, okay? That you're literally going to, like, everything that you've ever known, oh my God, I'm totally going to say this. Everything that you've ever known is a lie, okay? Meaning, like, if something looks too good to be true, it's too good to be true. No, that's a lie. Like, some bitter, angry person who like didn't want to put themselves out there is telling you that. You were raised by old people who just did not want to like put themselves out there. They just wanted to conform and just like fit in, right? Okay. Because times were hard back in 1920 when we, whatever. So relax. That's number one. Number two, we got to assess. Go to your upline and say, this is what I'm doing. Can you tell me what's happening? Like, what am I not doing wrong? And I tell people, but this is also the thing. So like I teach my team, we do the core four. We do in social media. We post, message, follow up, grow our network. And I said, there's going to be one of those at least that you're not going to feel good about. It's going to make you nervous. And I'm just letting you know that you can't avoid the one that doesn't make you feel good and think the other three are going to work, because they all work together. Okay. It's like planting the seed, watering it, sun, time. Plant the seed, water it, sun, time. You have to have all of those things in order for things to grow. And that's how this business is. So you've got to, be true and be real here. Like, if it's not working for you, what are you not doing? And I don't mean to say you're not doing things. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, what are you not doing? You know what you're not doing. I'm missing a couple of people. My mindset isn't an entrepreneur. Okay. There's a difference. Normal people think, well, how much do I have to do? How many do I have to do? Someone who's like a boss babe, someone who is here to like you own this. This is yours, right? This is yours. Says, I'll just do however much until I get what I want, right? Okay. And then if you truly are doing the things that you need to do, then you just got to give it time, dude. Like my first 2 months, I mean, oh my God, I was living on a prayer. I was posting and messaging and posting and messaging and following up and posting, messaging, following up. And I just felt like, I'm like, God, I'm doing a lot. I'm not really getting a lot back, but I watched The Secret and I'm like, I believe it's happening. It is coming. And you guys, day 61, I woke up and I am not even kidding you. I had 6 messages and I was like, I knew it. I knew this is going to work. Yes. Like I didn't give up. I kept going. And so just understand, sorry, my nose is itching so bad. Just understand that in this business, there's a little like right away, there's like stuff that can happen right now. But when you plant a seed, right, in the ground, you can't even see it anyways. You can't get your panties in a bunch about what you can't see. But the roots grow down first. So stuff doesn't even grow up before it grows down. So you're not even seeing the growth that's happening low. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, could you imagine if you quit this business when you are planting seeds and you're sharing your story and you're following up and you're doing all this stuff? If you you've got to give it at least 6 months, because the real fruit of your labor is going to come around your 3rd month. That is when stuff's going to explode. You're going to be like, hot damn, I can't take a shower because I have so many messages, and you're going to be so grateful you didn't quit. However, if you have not been working for 3 months, truly all in how you should be, committed, then that starts now, and you give yourself grace, and you cannot be like, feeling sorry for yourself or trying to make up for lost time, because you can't. You sit here and you say, this is what I did right. I learned, I didn't give up, I didn't quit. This is what I did right. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That's what I did right. So now I'm just going to move forward. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to feel bad, sorry for myself, thinking that I ruined things. Time's going to go by. I talked about that in the beginning. Time's going to go by. 1 year from now is going to be here tomorrow. Like, it is just going to go by so fast. So you might as well just like do what you need to do now. Commit now. I promise you. And like I was saying, even if you show up, like they said, like faith the size of a mustard seed, it's just going to be enough. It has to. It just has to be enough, because it's all you've got.
It's so good. So if you were going to talk to someone who's been here for a while and struggling to cast vision for their team and their organization, and having people to be a part of helping them, I mean, essentially we're helping someone else, but they're still being a part of the journey and what you're going. So like, let's just say presidential or ambassador or double ambassador, right? In that bigger picture, what tip would you give them to casting that vision of, we're going to do this together to be a part of something bigger than ourselves?
Well, I think that, I mean, you can do stuff alone, but being alone doesn't feel good. I don't think that's like how we were created to be. Like, why do we have a spouse if we're supposed to be alone? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, like whoever we want to love, someone, we got like a partner of some sort, right? It could even be your dog. Like, you're not alone. So I would say, like, to be a part of something, I mean, it's just like how I look at like Mark, like having someone to look up to, like someone physical, like tangible, that you can look up to and see them paving the way, like that is so priceless. When we were in Costa Rica and Mark was standing there in front of us and he said, I don't worry about the noise, because I know where I'm going. I feel it. I know where I'm going, and I'm not going to worry for 1 second and have to turn around and say, who's coming with me? I just know that they'll be there. Now, who it will be, like it's crazy. The people who give up on the process. I've seen people, like, I have been in the same spot of the process of the people who I saw give up, even like ambassadors, like top leaders who didn't want to go through that, didn't want to develop through the imposter syndrome, didn't want to develop through like the value of money, didn't want to develop through, figuring out how to like marry their life and business together. They didn't want to figure that out. And at some point, when they have success somewhere else, they're going to get to that point again and say, what the crap? Why am I at this place again? Because this place is inevitable. It's just like when you go, in order to get to executive, you've got to enroll people. Some people might quit. There's always a process with every single rank, every single level, every single elevation of your life. There's going to be a new jungle, I guess, to like go through, and you have to go through that. So, but the ability to do it together is priceless. I look at my team again, like, I don't feel like I have much to give. The only thing I can give is my experience. And my hope in doing this for them is to be able to clear some sort of path so they don't have to go through things as bad or as deep, or they can get through this stuff quicker and have more success. And so I feel like that's like what Mark talks about, is he knows where he's going and he's got this plan. So there has to be this level of work and there has to be this level of trust. And it's this beautiful thing because I don't have to figure this out. I can just follow along with this and be a part of something like so great that's going to be so impactful. I don't know if that answers your question.
Talk to me about your release, though, because I think that's part of the thing. So let's just say, I don't know, Jade, you were my first distributor. Well, Jade's not, it's not a good example. Somebody else was my first distributor, and they were my ruby to my emerald. And now I'm going diamond, I'm going double, and I need to release them. Like, I have to release them because they don't desire to move at the pace that I desire to move at. but they're still my team, so you're still valuable, but I still have to keep moving forward to where it is that I desire to go, and I have to release it so that I'm light enough to continue to move forward because there's so many other people that I'm supposed to touch. How do you get to that place mentally?
Well, you just there's points where you become mechanical and there's points that you get in your head. And I'm going to just show you I'm going to just hold on. This is my chart for my 2.0. This is everybody. I got everybody. You're on my team and you're on and working, you're on here. Okay. Like this, it's not done. So there's the end. Okay. And so I've got people up here that got started and they were like built, like they were just they were there. And so they were working and doing the things. And over time they got to that maybe executive or Ruby and they got funky and weird. And we developed and like it wasn't happening. But then what you guys just like literally what you'll find is that people mid-chart and down are fire. Every single person who has gone ambassador on my team was a 400 box at the bottom of a diamond chart under an executive who has gone ambassador. Every single person. And that is okay. That is okay. I have seen that like the security of your business is down within the depths and that you're going to have people who like quit and give, like it just, you got to keep going. Like you're driving the car here, man. Like if you're worrying about if you start turning around and looking back and like looking at your team and looking at their pace and stuff, it's just such a delicate thing because you don't want to be a butthole. Like you don't need to be a jerk. Okay. Don't be self-righteous. If you're so good at this business, then you better be making sure that you're turning around and teaching your team to be good too. Okay. This is not one for all and all for one. You got to be teaching what you're doing. But if you are doing that and there are people who are not like rising to that, then go dip down and find the dang people who are like rising to that. Find the people who are at least excited. Like if you try to, oh my God, I have a girl on my team who literally has been trying to like make these people who will never be the people for like 2 years and she hasn't progressed. I'm like, are you done working with these cranky people? You could have been like working with excited people. So I'm always shifting and kind of bumping down on my team and like identifying where things are exciting. And God, this girl's kind of, she's got a good attitude. And sometimes, I believe, okay, so like the top people are, they're the oldest. And so like old you might not have been like great. So like when we enroll people, they really are like a mirror, like a reflection of us. And so maybe you weren't so great, but as time goes on, you get better and better and better. And so the newer people kind of get a little lower on your chart. And that's why those people are awesome. So I'm just letting you know that if you have people mid-chart below who are like killing it, I'm telling you, that's the sweet spot. That's where the good stuff is. So that's fine. That's good. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're giving up on anybody. It doesn't mean like they are in control of their 24 hours. So if sister doesn't want to run a damn auto ship, she's not a product of the product, she's not posting, she's not doing this, that's her choice. She can figure it out or not. Love them where they're at. They won't quit, and hopefully someday they'll just get it together and go. And I've seen people get it together and go, and I've seen people get it together and like go. Like,
but you go regardless.
Yeah.
But you go regardless. It's the biggest.
Yeah, you don't wait. My God.
3 tips. Number 1, what's your number 1 tip for a newbie?
Oh my God. Listen to your upline. We're so good at this now. We're just good. Like we're good. We can enroll like 100 customers. We can enroll like 30 DTs a month. Like we know now. There's no guessing like, does this work or does that work? No, we just know now. So just trust the process. Trust the messages or like kind of post this. This is a really good intro. Just trust the thing and just go all in with it. You know what I mean? You truly listen. And it's just because welcome to the first place, maybe in your whole entire life where we actually want you to be successful. Most of us have never been around that. So it's hard to trust that. We get our panties in a bunch when someone's telling us what to do. We're not trying to tell you what to do. We're trying to guide you. And we're trying to do it quick so you can see quick success, because if you see quick success, you won't quit. That's the truth.
Oh, I just said that. That is so good. I just told you that. That's crazy.
Oh, we're the same person.
I know. No, step 2. Yep. Tip 2. Sorry. Your number 1 business tip to anybody. Just number 1. If you could only tell me 1 business tip, what would it be?
Like, what do you mean? I'm
Anything.
a
As being an entrepreneur and it works, what would be your number one tip to me?
oh God.
To Rachel,
Just
to me. Say it to me.
well, well, always keep moving forward. I think that is just always keep moving. Okay. That literally like you're gonna fall off the horse. I remember a time where I would fall off the horse, whether it was like a kid was sick or something would happen, or I was sick, or my mind was weird or whatever. And I would fall off the horse. And instead of just getting back up as quick as I could and just go, I would just be like, and like just be in this space where I was just being a baby. And I was so upset. I wasted so much time. The trick is to just hop back right up on the horse. You just know you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off. Who cares? No one cares. Everybody falls off. So just hop back on as quick as you can and just keep moving forward.
Resilience. That's so good. Okay. Number one organizational tip.
Planner. I think that's a planner. I have done business with a planner and I've done business without a planner. When I did business without a planner, I was not intentional about anything that I was doing. But when I have my planner, and it's not in here, it's in the kitchen because I sit in there when like Lucy's playing. But when I have a planner, I'm writing down all the people that I'm talking to every day about like what. So if I do a hosted post and I'm talking and I bring up the business, every single person who does a hosted post, I bring up the business. Like, hey girl, just so you know, like I looked at your page, you'd be really good at what I do. Have you ever thought about it? So now she's a potential distributor. Every single person that comments on the post, I'm also bringing up the business. So I'm like writing down all the people that I'm talking to, and just kind of also because it allows me to measure like why I feel funky. Like I can open up my planner and be like, oh, look at me not doing, like I didn't write anybody's name down for 3 days. And even if I was working, it's just like this measurement. So the calendar, keeping track, like, wouldn't it be amazing if you talk to hundreds of people every single month and like 5 years from now, you have documentation of all the people that you talk to so you can go follow up with all of them. Like you're never in drought of people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's so good. I need to go back to that. Number one tip for enrolling more distributors. It sounded like ask all your host people, but give me what you'd say.
You have to decide that you want to enroll distributors. First of all, you need to know that you're going to promote. You have to make the decision to promote. Okay. If you guys want to make more money, just go promote. There's no secret. Just promote. Go promote. Build a team, build community. Some people are like, I place on my top line and I let them figure it out. No one comes out of the womb knowing how to work this business. So it's a ridiculous mindset. Okay. So I build community and I build team. I love it. I love people coming together and like teaching them how to like help each other. So know the chart for like what you're working on. So then you have this great intention, like I need 6 people, I need 3 people. So now you're like, I know, okay, I know where they're going to go. I know what's happening here. And then you have to post, like posting is so important. You have to share your story. People have to go to your page and feel the feelings that you feel of like how you have struggled, how like what you didn't join this business for green paper, you joined for feelings, for security, for hope, for like strength, independence, all of these feelings. So you've got to talk about these feelings, right? With everything, just blow all the time, just slather it in feelings. So then that way, when you are in your DMs, whether you're just messaging someone saying, hey girl, I just saw your post about whatever, and it was so funny, I just have to let you know, like, you'd be so good at what I do. Can I give you some information and see if this would be a good fit for you? Or if you're doing host to post and every single person you're asking, but you've got to go that extra mile. You've got to just go that extra mile. You have to ask. I don't know, like, and it's a very delicate thing, but like there's people who are enrolling 80 to 100 customers every single month. And I was like, dude, but like you could enroll with all of that effort and work. You could enroll 30 to 40 distributors every single month and teach them how to enroll 100 customers every single month. And that's how you have explosion. That's how you have, you know, like crazy fast start bonuses and cabs and enrolling. Like our greatest gift isn't just how these products help you. It's helping people change their life and change like their family's history. You know what I mean? So there's like so much value behind it as well, but you got to do it on purpose. You got to enroll people on purpose. So I literally write every day in my journal, my name is Jade Hooper and I'm double ambassador and I enroll 15 distributors every single month, and every single distributor that I enroll gets their shoppings free within their first week, and they go Ruby in their first 60 days. And they are just so excited, and I'm just so excited to help them to go diamond. And all these people are just enrolling like crazy. I mean, I literally write this every single day. And I just, cause that's what I'm focusing on. And so I have these intentions of enrolling. And so, so I talk to people about the business because I believe that truly, I pray for I say, God, like, bring me the people and bring me to the people, bring the people to me and bring me to the people. And so if you are in front of me today, it is because I prayed for you. So I got to bring it up. You know what I mean?
You're so awesome. What's your color combo? Everybody wants to know.
My color combo, like my color personality.
Yes.
I don't know.
You ain't took it.
You guys, like, I know this is crazy. I don't dive into the color personalities, and I'll tell you why.
Tell me what.
Because I have just, like, I've changed over time, and I just think that people are going to change over time. And sometimes, and don't let this be like a rule. This is just me. But some people be like, I'm a red. Well, does that mean you can be a douchebag? Like, I don't understand. Just because you're a red? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're driven? You mean you're just like a driven human being that has goals? Like, cool. I'm a yellow. What does that mean? You can't be driven because you're a yellow? Like, no, those are lies. I don't do labels. I don't like labels. I hate labels. I am just Jade, and I am driven, and I'm a great mom, and I'm a great wife, and I'm just trying to be like real close to God and just like listen good, and I'm just like willing and open. And so like and so when I'm talking to people, I try to always come from an understanding place, because even though my grandma taught me a lot of ridiculous things, she did teach me that you will get more flies with honey than vinegar. And so I just try to be really kind with people and always be understanding, because I'm sure every single one of you can go walk and talk to someone else and they will be jerks to you and not understanding. We don't need those people. We need more understanding people. So I just try to be understanding. I try to love people. I work hard. I stay focused. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I like to party, but it depends on who I'm partying with. So like,
They were just
What color is that?
Yeah, if I had to guess, you're probably red, blue, but I could be wrong.
I'm green too, because like I'm real into the thoughts and feelings of things. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Who knows? Okay, so cool, Jade. If you could just leave us with one thing, we are a Black Diamond team. We are just walking into it. And so what would be one thing that you would tell this squad as we move on? Actually, our goal is to go double ambassador, actually triple ambassador by August. So what juice can you give us? What's one last thing you would leave with us?
I think one of the most powerful things that I've learned is, okay, I'm going to like blur my mind for a second. My Zoom will just have to wait a couple minutes. I learned this thing, and it's called quantum leaping. It just sounds really crazy and woo-woo and all this stuff, but I think it is so powerful, because when I look back, it truly is what I did before I even knew that it had a name. But like, again, like, if think of where you could be, like, what is your ultimate goal? Is it being ambassador? Is it just like truly like, I want to be ambassador? Okay, cool. Or presidential. Presidential was like my unicorn place, because ambassadors were like not a real thing. There was only like, what was there when we got started? Like 15 or like 10 or 15, like something crazy. Yeah, it was like a couple, right? I was like, I want to be presidential diamond. And so I was like, I can't wait until I'm presidential diamond, so I can feel like that person. So I can feel powerful and just so good. And like, I've got it together and all this stuff. And so I waited and 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 I waited. I'm like, why am I not feeling like a presidential diamond yet? And then I just realized, like, I just have to show up like that now. And like, again, I was taught that, like, don't be bigger than your britches, but like, who made that rule? I was taught that, but that's not true. So if I show up today, like, if you were presidential, if you were whatever you want to be, if you were that person, how would you be showing up today? How would you treat your family? How would you treat your body? How would you treat your soul? How would you be working? What would your work ethic look like? Like, how precious would your time be? How precious would your family be? Like, how would you be treating life? And so if you start showing up as if you were that person right now, you're literally like scientifically going to collapse time, and it's actually going to happen like way faster. Isn't that crazy? I swear to God, this is like a real thing. It's actually called quantum leaping. It's quantum physics. What? Who am I? A little green. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? So that would be my thing. That would be my thing for you. Stop waiting until you're like, I can't wait for the magical moment that I wake up feeling like a unicorn and my hair is on fire. It's never going to happen. You are going to show up and you're going to have one eye's going to be down here and you're like, you don't even know last time you showered and you can smell your armpits and you're like, is today the day that I'm going to show up like a 10? Yes, ma'am, it is. You're going to show up every single day. So figure out where you want to go. No limits, no judgments. I think the judgment part is like really the problem. The only reason why you haven't done what you wanted to do is because you are too worried about the people that you're going to hurt or offend along the way. And if they are hurt or offended, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with themselves. And they're going to deal with it or they're not. But I promise you that there are such incredible other people who are going to love you for no other explanation other than the fact that they just truly do. And that will just be enough to like carry you through. I promise. You've got to trust that.
Thank you. Okay, 5 seconds. Would you pray real quick? Just pray us out.
You want me to pray? Oh my God, I've never prayed for other people. This is very stressful. Oh my God, people are like, I mean, like I've never, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll do it. Let's go. You guys are gonna be like, Jade started rapping during her prayer. Or what is happening right now? Okay.
We love it.
What is going on? All right, let's do it. Okay, let's go. I'll do it how I do. I pray with Levi. So you guys you're gonna die laughing. Okay. Ready? Levi says, dear God and Jesus, because if we leave out one or the other, even though it's all the same, okay? God, I just want to thank you so much for this incredible journey that we are on, that we are a part of a group of people who truly want us to be successful, people who raise us up, people who are here to link arms and give us strength and empower us to become the people that you want us to be. And if these people are in our path, it is because of your will, even if we don't understand. And so I just pray for every single person who's on here tonight that they can take away, if not right now, they will think about it tonight and wake up tomorrow, just knowing what it is truly that they are enough and that they can do anything. Because if they put their minds to it, it's possible, and their minds are thinking it because of you, God. So I just pray tonight that every single person goes to bed feeling safe and feeling secure and knowing their place in the world and truly knowing that you have put them here for great abundance and to do such incredible things, and that we are amazing women, that we are amazing men, that we are earth shakers because of you. You've given us that power to be that person on this earth. And we're going to change our lives. We're going to change our kids' lives. We're going to change all the lives of every single person around us, God, because we are that great and you put us here to be that great, God. So again, I just thank you for everything that you've given us, everything that you do, and how far you continue to stretch us, God, because without you, we would not be anywhere without you, God. Thank you so much. Amen. I didn't rap. I'm so sorry. Next time.